Hey guys, it's Leanne. Welcome to my YouTube channel if you're new, and big welcome back if you're not new. So if you are new, on this channel I film every single week, and I mostly film honest makeup reviews and very informative makeup tutorials. So if that's something that you're interested in, which obviously it must be because you're on this channel, then please subscribe, and also please give this video a like. Apart from that, yeah, just subscribe anyway because it's free. But anyway, welcome. So today's video is going to be a Foundation Friday video, which I have not done in so long because I'm kind of running out of foundations to try, and not that many new ones are being released. Whether that's because of this COVID-19 or whatever, I don't actually know, but there doesn't seem to be that many new products coming out. But yeah, today's video is a Foundation Friday video where I review a foundation every Friday normally. So this foundation is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation, and I ended up using the shade 112 Soft Beige. So this video also, I actually show you how to match your skin to your perfect foundation shade. So hope that helps anyone who is very confused about that, as I was when I first started doing makeup. And yes, let's just jump in to this Foundation Friday review and wear test of the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation in the shade 112 Soft Beige. So for today's video, it's a Foundation Friday video, as the title suggests. So this is what it looks like, and in the bottle there's just 30 millilitres, which is just standard for a foundation. So I don't actually know what shade I'm going to be using because I've literally bought that many bottles of this foundation over the years. That's for myself and for clients, that I've actually just got loads of options. So the shade that I think I am is shade 250. That's the Sun Beige shade, but I'm just going to have to try it out because I haven't used this foundation in so long that I actually... Okay, that is definitely not my shade. But while I am actually trying to shade match myself, I've actually had a lot of comments. I think there's a lady called Jewel Joseph who is one of my subscribers on YouTube, and I think she requested the video of how to match foundation to your actual skin tone. So I might just show that now actually. As we can see here, the shade 250 is, you can tell that this is not the colour of my skin. My skin is this tone, and then this just looks very orangey, and you can visibly see where I've put the foundation. So the easiest way that I've found to find out what your actual shade is in foundation is just to take a little bit of the foundation and just sort of put it along the jaw. Like so here I've put it along the jaw and I'm putting it on this side. So you can still visibly see this one. So that would suggest that it's not really my foundation, and that was the number 128 Warm Nude. So the next shade I'm going to try is the number 112 Soft Beige. So I'd say that this one looks the most natural out of the three that I've tried. Yeah, this one is least visible on the skin. This one is definitely not my shade, neither is this one, but this one is definitely the least visible, and when I'm tapping it in, it literally is just blending away. So yeah, even with the lights dim, you can tell visibly that is just not a match. This one isn't, but this one does not show up. So I've found that to be the easiest way of how to match your foundation to your skin tone. I think it's quite confusing when trying to match yourself to your perfect shade. I've tried to watch tutorials in the past on how to match foundation, and when they talk about undertones and grey and neutral, cool tone, warm tone, I think it's very confusing for anyone who's beginning in makeup. So that's my easiest way of how to actually match foundation to your own skin, and you can obviously do that when you're makeup shopping in, you know, Sephora or Boots, whatever. Not now during COVID because obviously they don't have testers out and available to try, but in future hopefully, you know, we'll get back to normal. So yeah, that's how you shade match your skin. When you actually put foundation on the skin and you can't see it, that's your perfect shade. It's literally true to your skin tone. Obviously this is fine if you want a bit of more of a bronze look. This is fine. This one, I feel like I could work with it as well. It just depends what look you're going for, but if you're actually looking for a true to skin tone match, then that's the best way that I know how to do it. So yeah, you might have guessed what I'm going to be going in with the 112 Soft Beige shade because that is my perfect match. So I'm just going to blend this side away. Now, before we jump into actually applying the foundation, I'm just going to be reading out some of the claims that this foundation makes. So the claims that this foundation makes is that it gives a natural matte finish and it's ideal for normal to oily skin types. So that's perfect for me because I've got a normal to skin type, I would say mostly normal, sometimes combination, but mostly normal. This foundation is infused with micro powders to help control shine and blur the look of pores. Pores for me is something that I do not like to see through my foundation. I know that everyone has pores, but there's something that I do try and always perfect, so let's see if that actually lives up to that claim. So it helps to control shine. That'll be perfect for me on the forehead, as I sometimes do get oily on the forehead as well. It glides effortlessly across the skin and it claims to blend seamlessly to visibly minimise the appearance of pores and imperfections. Expect a more even toned and flawless complexion. On the bottle, sometimes foundations will say if the full coverage or lightweight coverage. This foundation doesn't actually say, so we can just be the judge of that. And I've actually forgot, because I haven't used this foundation in that long, I've actually forgot what it is like. So this will actually be almost like a first impression, sort of, because I do know that I liked it years ago. Obviously I've purchased so many bottles for clients and myself, but for whatever reason, other foundations have just overtaken it and I just haven't used this for a very, very long time. So it'll be interesting. I'm just going to give this bottle a little shake actually. And then I'm just going to dot it onto the skin with clean fingertips. Now, it's a very runny foundation, as you can see. Very liquidy. But I'm just going to start by blending this all over the face. Now, the brush I'm using is from Peaches and Cream. I'm not sure of the number, but I will find it. Now, so far, what do you think of this foundation in terms of the coverage? Do you actually think it's quite full coverage, or like just on this first application, like, do you think it's giving a good coverage? Or so I think that's quite a nice coverage. I don't think it's full coverage straight away, but I do think this could be built up. Definitely could be built up. I'm just going in on the forehead now, a little bit more foundation. Now, this Peaches and Creams brush is literally one of my favourites for applying foundation. The number on the handle of the brush is actually worn off. Now, one thing I will say about the shade 112 is that it is quite a very yellowy shade, which is fine for me. But if you don't like that, then yeah, maybe think of a different shade. But I'm just going to go back in now and just build up a second layer. And then what I will be doing is going back over with a brush, and then I'll be taking a damp beauty sponge and I'll just be pouncing this foundation all over the skin. So I'm just going to be going in with the Morphe beauty sponge, and like I said, just pressing this into the skin, as I find this is the best way to apply foundation. First with a brush, as a brush will give you a more full coverage, and then going in with a damp beauty sponge, as this will take out any brush hair strokes that sometimes inevitably get left in the foundation. So this is how the foundation's looking, and I've literally applied 2 layers, I'd say. But the thing is, because this foundation doesn't have a pump, I actually don't know how much product, like I don't know what's a good measurement to say how much product I've used. Obviously when you use a foundation with a pump, you can obviously measure it. You know, you have to use 3 pumps, 2 pumps, but for whatever reason this doesn't have a pump. So yeah, that would be one improvement straight away that could be made to this product. It could definitely have a pump, but for £5.99 we can't really complain and we can't expect the world. Obviously it's a drugstore foundation. But another thing that I don't like about this brand rather than the foundation is that this brand tests on animals. So that's just not something I ever like to promote, or, you know, I always want to put that out there. Any brand I'm trying, I'll always try and pick cruelty free. This one was requested by one of my lovely YouTubers here, and yeah, she requested this foundation as this is the one she owns. She said she'd like to see me do a look with it, so that's why I'm doing it. But now I am just going to add that I actually did prime the skin before I applied the foundation, and I've done this off camera. So I used the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So obviously this foundation is matte and poreless, so it should be really, really, really poreless, considering I've actually used the e.l.f. Poreless Putty and now I'm using this poreless foundation. So we'll see the results at the end. But yeah, I'm just going to go off camera, do the rest of the makeup, and then I'll check back in. And I'm also going to be doing a wear test. So guys, I'm just checking back in now, as I said I would. So this is how the foundation looks now that all of the skin products have been applied. So what do you think of the foundation? I think it actually does look very flawless. I think the pores look fine. I think the pores look okay. Obviously this foundation's called matte and poreless, so the emphasis is really on pores. But even though it is good for pores, I think it's brilliant. Obviously, bear in mind, I did use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, which will obviously give this a helping hand. I do actually find other foundations perform just as well as this poreless foundation for minimising pores. But I don't know if this is showing up on camera. This is just something separate. Side note, can anyone see under this eye how crepey and cakey this under eye looks? And like very chalky. I can see it on camera now. I hope that you can too. Otherwise, you're just not going to have a clue what I'm on about. But I've just tried out the Maybelline Last and Fix Loose Setting Powder All Day Matte Finish. So this was a first impression for me. And I've just used this now just on the under eye. And I really don't like it. Like, literally so chalky, so white. It's actually sticking to the concealer and just sitting in fine lines, which obviously powder's not really, that's not what you want from a powder. But I just thought I'll mention that in case anyone's thinking of purchasing that Maybelline Last and Fix setting powder. So I just thought I'd use it as like a translucent powder, but it clearly doesn't look the best. But yeah, side note for anyone who has that product or is thinking of buying that product, this was my take on it anyway. But like I said, I'm gonna go now, check back in a few hours. So I'm going to go to work later and I'm actually going to be wearing a mask while I'm doing my shift. So I'm going to check back in. So the time now is 1:15 in the afternoon. I'm going to be finishing work at about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. I'll let you know when I check back in. But yeah, we'll see how the foundation holds up. Like I said, I will be wearing a mask probably like the rest of the world when they have to go out and do things. But yeah, I'll see you in about 1 second. But really, it's going to be about 8 hours, 9 hours. So I'm just checking back in as I said I would. Now, like I said earlier on, the time was 1:15 in the afternoon and the time that I'm checking in now is exactly So the time that I'm checking in now is exactly 8:25 in the evening. So that would mean I've had this foundation on the skin for 7 hours and 10 minutes, I think. So I'm just going to have a closer look at the skin and let you have a closer look at the skin. Now, bear in mind, like I mentioned before, in case anyone forgot, I have been to work and I've been wearing a mask for the whole shift. So the shift was about 4 hours long, let's say roughly, and literally the only place that I can see this foundation slightly coming off is just on the nose, but it's only very, very slight just here on the bridge of the nose. Everywhere else, the foundation is literally flawless. Now, on the forehead, I feel like you can see a little bit of shine, but not much. And it doesn't feel slick to the touch or anything, which it never normally does with my skin. But I do think you can see a little bit of shine on the forehead, but I did put a bit of highlight there earlier on. So obviously that can make the skin look a little bit shiny and dewy. But overall, I am so impressed with this foundation. So I'm just going to inspect the pores now. And yeah, you know what? The pores are looking absolutely perfect. Literally flawless, no complaints. So I feel like it definitely does live up to the matte and poreless. Mostly on the forehead, it has kind of stayed matte. Bear in mind, I did put highlight on before. So now what I'm noticing is that it's come off on the chin. I didn't notice that before, but it definitely came off a little bit on the chin. The chin's very red. I've only just noticed that right now. But everywhere else is literally flawless. And this is obviously not a fair standard to judge your foundation against wearing a mask, because obviously when would you ever do that in real life pre-corona? You just wouldn't do a full face of makeup and then just put anything on top of your face. You just wouldn't do that. So obviously that's made this Foundation Friday a little bit of a tougher test. But I just feel like it actually makes me like the foundation even more, the fact that it has lasted so well. And bear in mind, obviously these masks, you're sweating underneath them, you're breathing underneath them, and yeah, they're just not nice, are they? But yeah, I absolutely love this foundation. I love the way it looks on the skin. I actually got a few compliments today on the skin. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this foundation. I think it's perfect value for the price. It's amazing. And I'm definitely going to start using it a lot more on this channel and just in my everyday life as well. So the powder that I was talking about before that I used on the under eye, hopefully everyone can also see even now, it's still cakey and patchy and it gives such bad flashback. I literally took a photo of this makeup before in daylight and it was so bad, and then I was on a video call chatting and literally it was just so bad. It's just like two big white like triangles sort of, like as you can see here, it's just very white. But I did bake underneath my contour with this and this looks flawless. So maybe it's just not a very good under eye powder, but it does seem to be a good face powder. So under here, this didn't have a white cast, so it didn't show up as white as the under eyes did. So I actually do like this product, but just not for the under eyes. But I'm going to give it another try anyway. Maybe on my YouTube channel I'll review it again, or maybe I'll do like a little video on like comparing the best setting powders and loose baking powders. Let me know if that's something you're interested in and you think that'd be a good video idea. Let me know. But yeah, I'm kind of sitting on the fence about this because I do like it for underneath the contour. That looks flawless and very light, which I like. It doesn't look too white though underneath the contour. However, on the eyes, as you can hopefully see, it just looks so white, and I don't think it's very flattering on the under eye. Gives flashback, shows up terrible in daylight. So yeah, I'm a bit umming and ahhing about it. But anyway, this foundation is literally going to be getting used so much. All those bottles and all those shades that I've got, I'm going to try my best to use them because I actually love this foundation. Have you tried this foundation? If you have, let me know what you think of it. And don't forget to let me know if you think this is like a full coverage foundation. I don't actually think it is. I think it's definitely more of a medium coverage, which is perfect for just an everyday going to work look. But yeah, apart from that, thank you so much for watching, sticking around to the end, and also for supporting my channel just by watching. And obviously, before we leave and sign off, I just want to remind everyone to, if you don't mind, if you could please support me and my YouTube channel just by liking this video, subscribing, and just dropping me a comment in the comment section, as it all helps. And it's something that I look forward to hearing from people who watch this channel. I actually love talking to me subscribers. I actually love it. So anyway, enough rambling on now. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. But thank you so much for watching.